occasion, and I read a statement produced by South Turkmenistan National Front for this event. Persian Iranian Shia regime, since its inhuman appearance in the winter of 1978, is the judge, jury, and executioner of its people through the suppressive use of state power against socio-economic needs of democratic wishes of its people, especially unfair treatment of 5 major non-Persian nations of South Turkmenistan, South Azerbaijan Turks, Alahwaz Arabs, Baluchs, and Kurds that are considered nearly 60 million of Iranian population. Internationally, this regime is well known for systematic torture and summary execution of 5,000 to 15,000 political prisoners in the middle of 1988 by the command of Mr. Khomeini and association of Mr. Khamenei, Mr. Rafsanjani, and Prime Minister Mousavi in 1988. This is reported in Jeffrey Robertson in The Guardian. Total population of Turkmens of South Turkmenistan are over 5 million. They live in north of Iran, in the southeast coast of Caspian Sea, and the southern Mazandaran, and the north part of the province of Khorasan. These provinces are the product of Persian Iranian regime's suppressive division of Turkmen land and people. South Turkmenistan contains 15 cities and towns and nearly 1,600 villages. After the disintegration of Turkish Qajar Empire in 1925, South Turkmenistan were occupied by Iranian force of Pahlavi dynasty. The first autonomous Republic of South Turkmenistan, established by the Assembly of Turkmen Elders, Töre, in the town of Omchali on May 1924, was suppressed and Turkmen land completely annexed to Iran. Since then, for the first time in our history, we were forbidden to use our national dress and to read, write, and even speak in our mother tongue. The oppression suffered by South Turkmens under Persian Iran Shia regime are multi-layered. Firstly, Turkmens are Sunni minority and under the most horrifying kind of religious discrimination. Secondly, Turkmens under Iranian occupation are being punished for their creation of autonomous states at the time of Iranian revolution between 1979 and 1981, which has lasted over a year. Thirdly, despite a full systematic assimilation and constant persecution by Iranian regime, Turkmens were the first among non-Persian nations who officially rejected the legality of the choice of the Islamic Republic in Iran in its referendum of March 1979. The struggle against the very illegality of the regime is ongoing. South Turkmens have been bearing years of the persecution, random arrest, and execution of ethnic Turkmen scientists, educators, human rights activists, and political leaders since the barbaric appearance of Persian regime of Iran in 1978 to 1979. Only few indicators as follows. Turkmen children are not allowed to talk in their mother tongue even in kindergarten or other educational places due to high oppressively managed Persian Iranian education policies. Sunni Muslim Turkmens children, even in kindergartens, are forced to receive Persian language and Persian Shia religious education. Birth certificates are not given with Turkmen names. Turkmens under discriminatory selection policies of Islamic rules cannot obtain senior position even in local affairs of their homeland. Illegal confiscation of 85,000 hectares of Turkmen ancestral land, which have been used for years by ethnic Turkmens of cities, Bandar Turkmen, Kumishtepe, Akkala, and villages around were illegally possessed by the Islamic institutions like Natural Resources, Bunyad, and Alavi Foundation. Amnesty International's official statement of January 25, 2008 about Mr. H. Khadiver, an 18-year-old Turkmen fisherman that is murdered by naval force of Islamic regime in the Chapalli village near the city of Bandar Turkmen. He was guilty of fishing in his homeland beach of Caspian Sea to feed his family. Since 1981, after separation of Turkmenistan autonomous state, tens of Turkmen fishermen murdered by Iranian naval force, and some even were thrown into water after killing. We, as the member of Front Nations of Self-Determination, FNFSD, believe and determined in achieving basic human rights, freedom, and democracy through attaining national rights as the main base to promote peace, partnership, and stability in so-called political geography of Iran, and in the greater region of Middle East to encourage respect for diversity and multiculturalism away from ethnic atrocities and ethnic cultural conflicts. We strongly believe in enhancing friendship and peaceful existence among world nations and neighboring countries based on international laws and regulations. We accept and respect United Nations resolutions, Universal Declaration of Human Rights, other institutions of international law. We strongly condemn the implementation of the acts of terror and aggressive expansion policies related to our neighboring countries by inhuman and authoritarian regime of Iran. And this is not the end of it. We condemn Iranian occupation of South Turkmenistan, and we will stand with all nations who they struggle for their self-determination. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen.